Imagine spending $2,000 on a high-end amplifier, only to discover in a blind listening test that you genuinely cannot tell the difference between it and an $80 budget amp from Amazon. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what happened when we put cheap amplifiers head-to-head against premium audiophile gear, and the results shocked even the most experienced listeners. Before we dive into these surprising findings, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us which amplifier or speakers you're currently using and what challenges you're facing with your audio setup. Your experience might help others in our community find better solutions. The world of audio equipment has always been fascinating because it sits at this strange intersection of science, psychology, and sometimes pure marketing magic. For decades, audiophiles have insisted that you need to spend serious money to get serious sound quality. Walk into any high-end audio store, and you'll be told that premium amplifiers offer superior clarity, better soundstage, tighter bass response, and an overall more musical presentation. The salespeople will use terms like warm mid-range, airy highs, and controlled dynamics. They'll tell you that cheaper amplifiers sound harsh, lifeless, or fatiguing. But what if most of that is just clever marketing designed to justify premium pricing? The science behind modern amplifiers. To understand why cheap amplifiers can compete with expensive ones, we need to talk about what an amplifier actually does. At its core, an amplifier takes a weak audio signal from your phone, computer, or turntable and makes it powerful enough to drive speakers. The goal is simple. Amplify the signal without adding distortion, noise, or coloration. Think of it like a photocopier. A perfect amplifier would be like a perfect photocopier that reproduces the original document exactly, just bigger. No smudges, no color shifts, no missing details. For most of audio history, achieving this perfect amplification was genuinely difficult and expensive. Traditional Class A and Class AB amplifiers required large, heavy transformers, massive heat sinks, and carefully matched components. Building an amplifier that could deliver clean power with distortion below the threshold of human hearing genuinely cost serious money. But then, something changed. Modern Class D amplification technology arrived and completely disrupted the market. Class D amplifiers work differently from traditional designs. Instead of constantly burning energy as heat, they switch on and off thousands of times per second, delivering power only when needed. This makes them incredibly efficient, compact, and surprisingly cheap to manufacture. More importantly, modern Class D chips from companies like Texas Instruments can achieve distortion levels below 0.01%. To put that in perspective, human hearing can't detect distortion below around 0.1% under ideal conditions. These budget chips are literally 10 times cleaner than what our ears can perceive. The blind test setup. So, we designed a proper blind listening test to see if expensive amplifiers really sound better, or if we've all been fooled by flashy casework and clever branding. We gathered 12 listeners ranging from casual music fans to experienced audiophiles with decades of critical listening experience. We selected 4 amplifiers covering a wide price range. On the budget end, we had the Fosi Audio BT20A at $80 and the WIM amp at $300. For the premium category, we chose the NAD C700 V2 at $1,700 and the Cambridge Audio EXA100 at $2,000. The testing methodology was crucial because even tiny differences in volume can make one amplifier seem better than another. Human hearing is incredibly sensitive to loudness, and we naturally perceive louder as better even when the actual sound quality is identical. So we level matched all 4 amplifiers to within 0.1 decibels using precision measurement equipment. We set up an ABEX switcher that let listeners instantly compare any 2 amplifiers without knowing which was which. The switching happened in less than 1 second to prevent audio memory from fading. We chose a variety of music tracks designed to reveal differences if they existed. We used dialogue-heavy tracks to test clarity and intelligibility. We played Atmos movie scenes with spatial rain effects to evaluate soundstage and imaging. We blasted bass-heavy rock tracks from Metallica to Test Control and Dynamics. Each listener went through multiple rounds, comparing different amplifier pairs and rating which sounded better or if they sounded identical. The shocking results. Here's where things get interesting. When comparing the $80 Fosi against the $2,000 Cambridge, listeners correctly identified which was which only 63% of the time. That's barely better than random guessing. Even more revealing, when we secretly played the same amplifier through both channels, 35% of listeners still claimed to hear differences. They described one as having tighter bass or more detailed highs when they were literally listening to identical signals. The experienced audiophiles in our group didn't perform significantly better than casual listeners. Several people with golden ear reputations confidently declared the budget Fosi sounded more refined and musical, only to discover they'd actually been listening to the Fosi both times. One participant insisted the Cambridge had superior bass control during a track where we'd accidentally left the Cambridge disconnected entirely. The power of expectation and psychological bias is genuinely that strong. We ran null tests where we inverted the signal from one amplifier and mixed it with another. If two amplifiers sound different, the null test reveals what's different. The residual signal shows you exactly what one amp is adding or subtracting compared to the other. When we nulled the Fosi against the Cambridge, the residual measured at minus 60 decibels. That means the differences between these amplifiers were 60 decibels quieter than the music itself. For reference, that's like trying to hear a whisper in a room where someone is shouting. Why premium amplifiers cost more? So if cheap amplifiers measure just as well and sound identical in blind tests, why do premium amplifiers cost so much more? The answer is actually pretty straightforward once you look beyond pure audio performance. Premium amplifiers offer features, build quality, and user experience that budget models simply can't match. The Cambridge EXA 100 includes HDMI eARC for TV integration, balanced XLR inputs, premium volume controls, and a gorgeous aluminum chassis that feels like a piece of luxury equipment. The NAD C700 V2 offers advanced Dirac room correction that can genuinely improve sound by fixing acoustic problems in your listening space. These features matter to many people and can be worth paying for. Room correction alone can make a bigger difference than any amplifier upgrade because it fixes the real problem most systems face: bad room acoustics. Similarly, having HDMI inputs means you can simplify your setup and reduce cable clutter. The heavy, beautifully machined casework doesn't improve sound, but it does improve the ownership experience if you value aesthetics and tactile quality. Premium amplifiers also tend to have more power headroom for larger rooms and less efficient speakers. The Cambridge delivers a full 100 watts per channel, while the Fosi tops out around 50 watts. If you have a big room and speakers that need lots of power, that difference matters. But for most people in typical living rooms with reasonably efficient speakers, 50 watts is more than enough. Many listeners never use more than 10 or 15 watts even when playing music at conversation-stopping volumes. The psychology of audio perception. What our blind test really revealed is how powerfully our brains influence what we hear. When you know you're listening to a $2,000 amplifier, your brain genuinely processes the sound differently. You listen more carefully. You focus on subtle details. You convince yourself that yes, there's definitely more air around the vocals, more texture in the bass, better separation between instruments. Remove the visual cues and price tags, and suddenly, those differences vanish. This isn't about audiophiles being stupid or dishonest. It's about how human perception works. Our expectations shape our reality in profound ways. Studies in wine tasting show the exact same phenomenon. People consistently rate expensive wines as tasting better even when they're drinking cheap wine from an expensive bottle. The experience is real to them even though the objective difference doesn't exist. Real-world recommendations. So what should you actually buy? If your budget is limited and you just want great sound, buy the cheapest amplifier that has the features you need and spend the savings on better speakers or room treatment. Speakers make a vastly bigger difference than amplifiers. Room acoustics matter even more than speakers. A budget amplifier in a well-treated room with quality speakers will destroy an expensive amplifier in a bare room with mediocre speakers. For most people, something like the Wim amp at $300 hits a sweet spot. You get modern streaming features, room correction, enough power for typical setups, and measured performance that rivals anything at any price. The money you save compared to premium options can buy acoustic panels, bass traps, or a subwoofer upgrade that will actually improve your sound in ways you can hear. If you have a large room, very inefficient speakers, or you genuinely value premium build quality and features, then higher-priced amplifiers make sense. Just go in with realistic expectations. You're paying for convenience, aesthetics, power, and features, not for audibly superior sound quality. That's perfectly fine if those things matter to you, but don't convince yourself you're hearing differences that measurements and blind tests show don't exist. The uncomfortable truth is that modern amplifier technology has advanced to the point where even cheap designs can achieve essentially perfect performance. When distortion is already 10 times lower than human hearing can detect, making it even lower doesn't improve the listening experience. It just improves the measurement charts. The real differences between amplifiers today come down to features, power output, build quality, and brand prestige, not sound quality. This doesn't mean all audio equipment sounds the same. Speakers absolutely sound different from each other. Room acoustics dramatically affect what you hear. Source quality matters. But amplifiers, when properly designed and operating within their limits, have become essentially transparent. Your ears simply can't tell the difference between adequate and overkill. That's actually wonderful news because it means great sound is more accessible and affordable than ever before. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to experience high-fidelity audio. You just need to spend wisely on the things that actually matter. If you found this information valuable, smash that like button and subscribe for more honest audio advice that cuts through the marketing hype. Drop a comment sharing your experiences with budget versus premium audio gear. Have you done your own listening comparisons? What surprised you? Let's keep this conversation going because the audio community benefits when we share real experiences instead of repeating marketing claims. Thanks for watching, and remember, trust your ears, not the price tag.